There are words from the previous Lubavitcher Rebbe to a reply to a question that was asked in a private audience called Yechidus. In a question that was asked in a private audience with the Rebbe. This was in 1875 or something. So this, his grandfather, that was the fourth Rebbe of Chabad. Okay, so the fourth Rebbe of Chabad took his son into a private audience. Now, a private audience is just not like me and you. We just, you take your son aside. I say, I'd like to have a word with you. It's a whole different, like, spiritual level. It's like the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, right? He was always in the Holy Temple, but only once in the year he could go into the Holy of Holies. But the whole temple was always there. It was always there. Going into Yechidus is something like going into the Holy of Holies. So his grandfather, which was the fourth Rebbe of Chabad, took his son, which was the fifth Rebbe of Chabad, and into Yechidut. And he said, the Yetzer Hora, the evil impulse, the destructive impulse, is also called an animal soul. Not because it's an animal. It can be very clever, like a fox, the most cunning of animals. And in order to counter the effect of the Yetzer Hora, you have to be very clever. You have to be very wise. Sometimes it can be the Yetzer Hora, the evil impulse, can dress itself up like a tzaddik with fine character traits. Here we see this week's Torah portion, right? The Jews refused to go into the land of Israel. Why? Because they wanted to maintain their holiness. They wanted to keep being holy and not be distracted by the world. The most pristine, principles that you can have. They just want to be connected to God and learn Torah. What's better than that? And it ended up that was a big, huge, evil impulse, only to trick them not to do what God wanted. The animal soul is found in each person according to that person's nature. One person might all of a sudden have this desire to run after pleasures. Another person might say, no, I want to learn Chassidut, or I want to meditate deeply in a Chassidic concept, when really he was supposed to go out and help other Jews. And some people, they say, I want to go and help other Jews, and really he's supposed to be sitting and learning Torah. Generally speaking, what prevents you from doing what Hashem wants is that's a Yetzer Hora. The truth is that this is nothing more than the Yetzer Hora. It's what's called the Yetzer, the evil imagination, and the animal soul's tricks to prevent you from serving God or praying or whatever. What is a good thing to do, so it convinces you I got something better. This is a general principle, and you should always remember it. Anything which brings to actual serving God, and when you start to serve God, you receive some sort of an opposition, even the most noble, holy opposition, that is the mechane, that's how they call it, the tricks of the animal soul. I mean, one big prime example is the Rebbe said we should go out and put tefillin on people. And all of a sudden said, no, this is going to prevent people from learning Torah. But people that themselves themselves were not so always, excited about learning Torah, suddenly they became excited about going against what the Rebbe said we should spread learning Torah around. Right? No matter. Learning Chassidut helps you to pray to God in a more deep way. No, these same people that they were saying we should pray in a deep way, they were against learning Chassidut. Why were they against it? It's impossible to understand why. So the whole idea behind serving God means that there's going to be opposition. When the Rebbe came out with the thing of putting on tefillin on people, so this was right before the Yom Kippur, the 6-day war. So there came out one group that opposed it. And the Rebbe said, I'm really happy. I was worried, the Rebbe said. I was worried. I came out with this thing of putting on tefillin on everybody, going on the streets and asking just to put it, and no one opposed it. So I began to think that maybe there's something wrong. Maybe there's something wrong with it. And now someone came out and opposed it, and they got all these reasons why you shouldn't do it. And the Rebbe brought all the explanations from the Torah away. It's a good thing to put tefillin on people in the street. And it's a necessary thing. And That's it. But nevertheless, the Rebbe said, well, because there was no opposition, I was worried. Opposition is not a bad thing. nobody wants it, but people would like to just do things unhampered. That was the idea of the scouts, the spies. They didn't want to have the problems of Israel, the one problem. My father said, until then, I did not know that's what the fourth Rebbe told his son, the fifth Rebbe. And the fifth Rebbe told him, the sixth Rebbe, the previous Rebbe, he said, until my father told me that, I didn't know that there could be such a thing as a religious animal soul, and even more, a Chassidic animal soul. A Chassidic animal soul. There can be a Chassidic devil trying to convince you not to serve God in that way, in this way. Serve it in this way, in a different way. It's very tricky. Therefore, the Rebbe said it a lot of times, you have to have a Rav. You have to make somebody that you can consult with. You have to have a friend, and you have to have a Rav. You have to consult with people. You have to consult. Don't do things on your own. Don't do things on your own. The Rebbe used to consult with his father-in-law, right? He used to go to the cemetery and consult with his father-in-law. His father-in-law would give him advice. So don't do things alone. Don't make up your own ideas of the other things. Because all the principles are here, but to know exactly how to do it, you have somebody else. He can give you a little sort of, tune you up so that you do things in a proper way. But nevertheless, there can be such a thing as having Hasidic ideals and Hasidic knowledge, and that is exactly what is stopping you from serving God. Your Hasidic attitude could be. Now, a story.